Hey guys, welcome to the Gods Unchained beta with the TheProfesserf. Alright, it's time for our Monday Mythic meta for the ranked weekend event that ran on October 8th, 9th, and 10th. Let's take a look at our results. Here's a list of our top players. We can see first place managing 24 wins. Very close to a perfect run here. Two other players with 23 wins. And rounding out our top 9, several players with 22 wins. These are unofficial results, so we have one spot open, the 10th spot, with several players tied for 21. So we'll see who will get the final spot when the official results are published. Let's go into more details. With a balance patch releasing right before this past ranked weekend, we can see which gods were nerfed. War taking a dive all the way down here, and also Magic taking a dive. In our top 20, 9 of our top 20 players played Death, 6 players played Light, 4 players played Deception, 1 player played War, and Magic and Nature did not have any representation in the top 20. In our top 10, Deception took first and third place. Death took second, fourth, sixth, seventh, ninth, and 10th. So Death took 6 of the 10 places. War was able to take 5th place, and Light took 8th place. Our best deck was Deception with 24 wins, followed by Death with 23 wins. The best Light and War deck managed 22 wins. The best Nature deck had 21 wins, and the best Magic deck that I could find had 20 wins. Looking at our simplified deck types, our players moved back to a control meta with 13 of our top 20 players playing a control deck, and only 7 players in our top 20 playing an aggro deck. Let's look at our decks in more details. Our top Deception deck with 24 wins is a control Deception deck using Orpheus Distraction God Power. You'll see several spells here where your opponent's goal is to stall and put you to sleep with some hand disruption. You have several sleep cards. You have stalling cards from the new Divine Order like Stone Skin Poison. You have removal cards after your opponent has loaded their board. You put him to sleep with Exercise. And then you could play Elixir of the Snake, Rapture Dance, A Toast of Peace, or Orpheus Guile. With all that stalling and removal, your goal is to get to 9 mana and play Polyhymnia, one of the best 9-drops so far from the Divine Order set. If you're playing a control versus control matchup, you have Jason to add some late game value, but also you have some hand disruption with Ludius Deception and Cutthroat Insight for a chance to steal your opponent's win condition. The best Death deck I found had 23 wins. This one's a control Death deck with the Blood Ritual God Power. You have several stalling and removal cards like Siren of the Grave, Sulfuric Rain, Blight Bomb. You have Eva, Baroness of the Dead from the Divine Order set that serves as a board control early on against your opponent. You have several cards that interact with the Void for additional afterlife effects with the Canopic Hoarder and Sand Scorpion. You have your removal with Reap, Neferu, Apocalypse Now, and End Times. And you have Polyhymnia in the deck as an endgame win condition. The best war deck I found had 22 wins. This one's an aggro war deck using the Slayer God Power. It's a very low curve deck at 4 mana, topping out with Sites of the Harvest and another round from Divine Order. This one gives a creature on the board +3/+3, with also an effect that if you are frenzied, that creature with the +3/+3 will give another creature in your hand randomly +3/+3 as well. Even with the nerf, you still have Thundercaller in the deck, as the effect is pretty strong. You have another good Divine Order card in the deck with the Valka's Captain, and the addition of Adi, Valka's Herald, a 3-mana 3/2 with backline and protected. Whenever this creature attacks your opponent's god, it can reduce the highest cost mana creature in your hand by 1 mana. The best light deck I found had 22 wins. This one's our Zoo Aggro Light version with the Summon Acolyte God Power. You have early strong light cards like Cudgel of Atonement and Blind Martyr, now joined from Divine Order with the Empyrean Pacifist, a backline creature that gains health every time you summon a creature. Once it reaches 10 health, it becomes a frontline creature. Other notable additions from the Divine Order is a Bronze Gate, a legendary Cadmos, Son of Lysander. This one has frontline and armor. and has the effect of turning one of your 6 mana creatures in the deck to the chosen one and giving it armor. You have CERN, another legendary, that's a solid 4 mana card. The best nature deck I found had 21 wins. This one's a mid-range big beast nature deck with the Animal Bond God Power. You start off with strong nature cards like Chiron, Marshwalker, Shieldbearer, and Wildhog. You followed it up with Underbrush Boar, Feyfame Blade, Canopy Barrage, and Finian Fruitbearer from the Divine Order. You have several tech cards like an Ornery Goat, a Lightning Strike, a Selena, a Rhino, and a Wildfire. You have your usual strong nature cards with Avatar of Nature, Jaguar Staff, the Green Giant, Hunt, and now they are joined by a couple of good additions from the Divine Order. The Brazen Moose, which is a 5 mana 6/6 that's blessed and also confused, and the Watchtower of Agrador. The Watchtower of Agrador is a 6 mana 2/8 with the backline and an ability to either summon an Agrador Protector, a Tainted Treant, or 3 Vibrant Fruits. The best Magic deck I found had 20 wins. This one's a Magic Control Ramp deck with the Mage Bold God Power. It's looking like Ramp might be coming back. You have your usual strong Ramp Magic control cards like Shadow Scryer, Tracking Bolt. You have your Ramp cards with Sip of Elixir, Guardian of the Gates, Manitoad. You have lots of removal and stall with Pillar of Lightning, Bronze Gate, Pyramid Warden, Demogorgon. You have Demetrius Playwright for the flexibility of adding a final draft to your hand. You have your removal cards with Crystal Rain, a Ratify, Archimedes Mirror, and a strong frontline here, a 6 mana 4/8 with Armor 1, a Labyrinth Guard frontline. And of course, you have your usual removals and endgame win condition with Circe, Inferno, and then Avatar Magic with Polyhymnia. Taking a look at our meta snapshot for the last 3 days at the Mythic level, we can see now that our highest win rate gods are Death, Light, and Deception. All three are fairly popular at 13% or more. Nature is now again the most popular played god at 24%, although with a win rate under 50%. War is still popular, the second most popular god at 19%, although the win rate has now dropped under 50%. Death has a positive matchup versus Light, Nature, War, and Magic. Has actually a very strong matchup over Light. Light has strong matchups versus Nature, War, and Magic. One thing to note is of the top 3 gods, Death, Light, and Deception, Deception is the only god that has a positive win rate versus the other two, Death and Light. Deception does have almost all positive win rates across all the gods, with a very close coin flip versus War. Updating our scoreboard for most top 10 finishes in the ranked weekend, we added in last week's results, and we have 3 new movements here. We have Zrave joining the top 20. We have Fake Muse claiming a spot in the top 20, sneaking into the top 10 last week with the official results. We have Flex 13 jumping in at 21 spots, making space for the 3 players that moved up. We have several players that moved down accordingly, 2 to 3 spaces. All right, so here's a list of our top players again. Congratulations on a great performance, and good luck on your Divine Order packs when you receive them this week.